Alright guys, big thank you from Dubsat. So this tutorial I want to design this form with this for your screen here. AceCoinPay form. Alright, so we'll use Tailwind CSS for the grid, then normal we'll use Sass to tidy my style sheets. So let's go do now. More just quickly go our ID, more run the installation. So before we start the installation, so far I get this assets folder will contain every single assets what we'll use now. Take run this design, then inside my CSS folder I get this mixins. I already get just this flex because this is not something I will use a lot for this tutorial. So just this set flex mixing here. If you follow my videos before, you could also see me use them before. Then I might maybe I'll create another one again, Shabet. Maybe I'll create the one for font, but I'm not sure. But yeah, moving on to variables. These are the major colors we'll go use. Then the fonts we'll use so it's on our pop-ins. So I will show now how to install this font with Google CDN. Alright, then if you look my main.scss, very empty, Tailwind CSS, very empty, and my index.html, the same thing. So quickly now, I'm going to just create our first entry here inside the HTML file. So HTML:5 to just give us this quick startup to our HTML, something like that. So the title will be Ace. That's my increasing small. Will be AceCoinPay. Alright, then I'll set link to Tailwind. I'll duplicate, then do the same thing for main.css. Alright, so quickly more install. I'll initialize npm here now to give us our package.json file. So just type npm. I'm not saying most people that they get this mistake, not be npm, because many of them don't get the mistake and they ask me via my Twitter DM. npm, not npm. It's npm. npm. So npm init, short for initialize, -y. Alright, so now you give us this package.json. You get, so things what we need to install, and go right I'm here. So things what we need to install now. Say npm install as dev dependency Tailwind CSS post CSS auto prefix. If it is Tailwind, if you go there, size go install all these things and things will be like say I will show you. So based on I already know them down. Now just need to go there again to go waste time. You get, so I already write them down here. So Sass and Vite. So we use Vite now for our live server. So understand if you look this my ID sorry, this is my VS Code there, you get wash Sass. So actually VS Code gets as I put on, you get where the place again. You get extensions where go run Sass for us and give us live server. You get, but maybe some people not going to use this VS Code with us. So now the essence of getting our own custom installing the Sass directly and using Vite now for live server. You get, if not, if you just go live here and do whatever I want to do. So if you understand how to do it, if you just do it like that, but if it come from another if they use another ID or another text editor So if you just continue to use the Sass and the visual they use on here. So I just feel say that now waiting I need to let una know. You get so more let this thing install. So why did it install I think my network not sharp today. What did happen? Alright, so more just go more go for the where am I again self? More go for the poppins until this thing install finish. Alright, so if you come the font here, Google font, I'll leave the link to this Google font for the description of this video so that if you get quick access to RAM. So I just come and search for font poppins. So see poppins here. We'll click on then and if you dey follow my videos, you could already know how to do these things, but for the sake of the new people, like say go likely they see this thing for the first time, we'll always try to go over these installations over and over again. All right, so we need 200. We need this 200. We need 300. Notice I need to select this Italy because now we do use CSS slants if we want. So I'll select 300, then we'll select 400, 500, 600, then let's see, the which 900, 600, we'll select 700, and most of 800. All right, so now when you select them, see this icon, view selected families, right? So now it will select. So if you look down and you see link, they see import. So if you copy this link now and you go paste now for your HTML for the head file, the head part of your HTML. But if you get multiple files now, you got to copy them every time. They paste them for all of them. So instead of that, now we'll just put them in one place. So they prefer to use this imports every time. So I just copy the style sheet to import. Then I will go back to my IDE. This is not installed. What did it happen? Just my internet it works. So. If not, we'll cancel them. Alright, so I'll come back to main.scss. I'll just paste this one here. Right. Then I go import our variables dot SCSS, and we'll do the same thing for mixins. All right, then just give me a set HTML, the font size to 16 pixel. All right, so let's set the first part of our main.scss now. And what we need to do again, most of these we need to do the dependent on this thing installing. So what will happen there, I'll come back, I'll check my internet. Alright guys, so apparently now my internet not misbehave, so I just changed to another service provider now. Alright, so since the auto prefix post CSS, Tailwind and Vite they don't install. So what we would do, I'll come this test here, I'll change it to dev, then we'll go replace this thing where the highlight here now, so we'll just put Vite for our live server. Then we'll do the one for Sass. So I'll just put wash Sass, and we'll type Sass, then say wash this main.scss for changes. and we'll compile the changes inside this main.css. All right. So go watch for changes inside this main.css and it compile enter inside main.css here. So before we start to code, the next thing we need to generate. Oh, I'll go type generate. We need to generate Tailwind config.js and post CSS config.js. So to do that, I'll just type npx Tailwind CSS init -p. All right. So if you look at oh, I've done the wrong way. The command delete this thing. Cycle bin. All right. All right. So instead of capital letter P, take note, use small letter P. All right. So now would I get this process config.js and Tailwind config.js. So inside the Tailwind config.js, just where we get this content here, what I may do, you type star dot html and comma, you type js. All right. So we'll configure Tailwind and Tailwind now. We'll type html js here, just so you got to see our project files here. Okay, so actually this is actually come from their where I'm safe. They come from their documentation when you install. You see them. So configure your template paths to include Tailwind config.js. You see them. So we just use star now because we'll not get all these folder structures ready here. So we just use star now to just reference the whole folder. Any asha, done for that. So now what we need to do, I think we don't suppose finish everything we consign installations. Abi, must see. All right, I think so. So just close this, and we'll leave. Okay, remaining to put the Tailwind. Oh, I don't cancel that thing just now. So we'll just come here, we'll type at Tailwind base. Tailwind components. Then Tailwind. Oh, this one are part of the Tailwind solution utilities. If you go to their site now, you can see all these instructions there. Okay. So now we'll install this Tailwind now, and we'll just test to make sure say Tailwind will work. H1 lorem 3. Okay. So if it work, this lorem or this H1 now, Tailwind will reset them. So the default styling of H1 is very big now. You know they're big. So let's see. Okay, we'll run vit so that we can see our code. So I'll type npm run dev for inside my console. Okay, so http locals 3000. So now this link now you go follow to take view your what you code the results you get. So I already create the link here now, so I'll just click on AceCoinPay and you see as the Tailwind is installed. Right? Okay. So I'm gonna just cancel this one out. Then I might give myself more room. But before that, I go wash for Sass. So npm run wash Sass. So remember this wash Sass where they this command are the same command will give our our Sass now for package.json. So it not necessarily means it must be wash Sass. If you just put wash, you get. But for some different projects, if you're not using the Sass now, you wash. If you wash for that, and if you just put wash now, you know to the specific on which you wash. Now I just put wash Sass. Now just my own way of doing things. Yeah. So if you just find your own way of doing things, but in here, more career. So wash Sass. And you see Sass is compiling for changes. So we'll cancel this part out, make that in the run for button there. Then I'll try to give myself more room here by closing this one out. But whenever we need assets, we go open and back. Okay, so now we'll enter this tutorial properly. So I'll create a wrapper div. Then this div now will give grid. Then the grid, get grid calls 12. So 12 column grid. So this one it comes from Tailwind CSS. This class is the grid and the 12 column grids. So inside this grid now, we'll create a column. So 12 column span for mobile. Then we'll just say md col span 8. All right. So I'll duplicate y this 8 will turn on to 4. So if you calculate 8 plus 4 give us this 12 column here. So the reason I did one like this now because if you look at our design, we'll get this section for the main form and this other section where we contain the summary. You get the summary of or the checkout, something like that. So yeah, sure, we'll continue. So now by default, if you look, I'm open this thing because I'm going to refresh some things here. Let's see, responsive design. Okay. So in our MD 768 pixel. All right. So this XL by default, I suppose I suppose create something like this. Probably maybe might just show you something quickly. I'll comment this thing out here. You know how if I now want edit anything, now it's supposed to be for dot wrapper, then inside I'll go create grid. You get grid calls 12. Then here now I'll copy something like maybe max width screen XL. You see, so this max width screen XL suppose give me this width what I see for you now, which is 1280 pixel. You get, but with I want 1200, not their default 1280 pixel. So I've obviously done like this and come here, just go my CSS now, go edit this your custom style now. Just reference this class that then set them to 1200 pixels, just override the one where they put it on for their own before. But based on some I want to do those ones, I just write my own like this. So what I could do, this wrapper now, so at the target When I target I'll call give am 1200 pixel. You get, I'll give am 1200 pixel. So automatically now we're going to work with 1200 pixel. So just after this place now, my target body, because we'll use until set the background of that that background to go to that background image later on for the tutorial. So I'll just put body there. Then we'll target wrapper. Inside the wrapper, I'll set position to relative. My face set the width. I'll set the width to 1200 pixel. You get, then width, or no, max width 1200 pixel. Now set margin to 0 or 2 to push the wrapper to the middle. You get, then padding top, we'll set now the 6 EM. And font family go be Poppins. And we'll set background color to white. Then padding go be 3 EM. Okay. If I set padding as a 3, any of this padding to observe. Yeah, sure, I'm going to go. So you know what? Just to make you see this thing, my says want to read first. Okay. So you see what happen here now. This width are 1200 pixel. You get, so this width now go be everything you see from here to here. You get everything from here to here now, which is the whole width of this box. You get that 1200 pixel. Then if you see the space within the box now, from this button here, where this button starts now, coverage is placed now, then where the button ends here now, coverage here now be this padding 3 EM while it's set. You get, then based on say I look and say this place now, it did a bit higher. I make a set padding top now to 6 EM. But if need there for us to remove them, we'll go remove them. But for now, we'll just leave them like that first. You get, then I'll just take this background color back to white. All right, so now this first part now will get a new class. We'll call it form. Then inside the form now, we'll get a header tag here. So this header tag now, we'll just give the class as form header. Then this side we'll get logo. Okay, so the logo now, I'll just create one round circle there. So I'm not gonna post the original logo because I not get access to that logo where the designer use. You get, so after this logo, we'll get timer. So this is not the timer. Then this one will be the logo, right? So we'll create a span where will give us this logo circle here. Then we'll use H1 and take tidy the actual text for the logo part, which is AceCoinPay here now. So inside the logo here, I'll create a span. I just call logo circle. right? Then underneath the span, we'll create an h1 tag. I'll type AceCoin. Then we'll add a span. We'll give a class. We'll call it lean. They call it lean because the text already in our lean text P is here. So this AceCoin now, they bold. Why this P now be the lean? You see, to lighten the text. If you give a light, if you give an anything, now just the enter my head be that lean. So anything maybe like say you give it, no matter. As far as you know what you did do. So more tidying affairs for onto this timer. So now, just after the wrapper, I'll target this form. Then let's see, form header logo. All right, I'll come here. I'll say dot form header. So if you do something like this, or since we use SCSS, if you do and header, you get. So these two things now exactly the same thing. You get. So if you remove this one, why? Because this dot form now it did the same as this form here. You get. This dot form I did the same as this form here. So since this dot form header on a side of the form now, if you just use this and to represent this dot form where they here. So I just delete this one out. But if this one also they clean for you, if you don't understand the original, if you still follow this one where they use here, no problem. You're not gonna spoil your work. You get. But just to make things clean, I will leave this one like this. All right. So now inside this header, we get logo, right? Then inside the logo, we get the logo circle. So I'll put circle, and we'll come down. We'll get each one. Then inside the each one, you get lean, right? Okay. So now what we'll do? First thing first now, inside this circle now, I'll create the height. I'll set them to 3 EM. Then I'll create a width. I'll set them 3 EM. I'll set display to block, while our background color will be blue BG. Then our border radius will be 50% to make sure say we get the perfect circle. All right. So remember this blue BG now they come from these variables here, which is this. Okay. So let's just check them out mostly first. Let's see. Why in there the show CIRC? Okay, I'm not spell circle where. Okay, so you see here. All right, so now inside this H1, we'll set the font size to 1.75 EM. Then our font weight could be font weight could be 700 or 600. Then we'll set margin left to 0.6 EM, while our color will be text 1. Okay. Then for the leaner, now just to reduce the font width to 300. So we'll see. Back, we don't get this AceCoinPay. So we need to make them this side by side. So to do that, we'll go use flex, take tidy arm. So now we'll come back to the header here. Okay, no, to the logo. Inside the logo, we'll go use this our mixing now, this set flex mixing. So might just copy this whole thing here. And I'll go paste them. So instead of mixing, we'll just put include. Right. So the flex now, we'll remove this $sign here. So flex, align items to center, justify content to space between, while our flex direction, we'll just put initial for the default. All right, so most it will get so far. Expected, okay, semicolon. All right, so get AceCoinPay, but this thing cut too white. All right, so probably to make it white now because more inspect. From header, logo, timer. All right, you know what? We'll mark up this timer first. So for the timer, I'll just create 4 span classes of 4 span that will give you classes of timer box. So I'll just put span dot timer box times 4 here. Right. Okay. So the first one from our design 0119. Okay. So the first one will be 0 0 1 1 9. Okay. Then we'll get another one that will give us, I'll call them divider. Will give us that colon for the time. You get. So that gets this. We'll see our results again. Okay. In the underneath, that means we need to set flex, make this one come this way. Then this AceCoinPay I go push near this circle well. So to do that, back to my main.scss, I'll just copy this code now, exactly the same thing what we do for the logo here. We'll do exactly the same thing now for this header here. I'll paste down here like this. Then we'll see. Okay, so we'll get the AceCoinPay and this our timer here. All right, so now we'll target the timer. So target the timer now just after the logo here. We'll target timer, then I'll set the font size to 1.35 EM. Then I'll set the font weight to 500. Okay. We'll see. All right. So now, inside the timer now, we'll get timer box, right? So box, and we'll get timer divider. So I'll target the box, then I'll set the background color to dark BG. Then I'll set the color to white. And our height, we'll set the height to 1.9 EM. Then we'll set the width to 1.3 EM. We'll see. Okay. All right. Then we'll set display to inline flex. All right. So display to inline flex. Then we need to make sure say the content now, which is at the 0, 1, and 9 now, we need to push and come the middle here. So to push and come the middle here now, instead of us to write the whole thing now, we will use the same mixing. So you see inside they use a lot of flex. So that's why you go likely want to use or create a mixing for something like say you use a lot. So display now, we'll copy and put here inline flex. Then our items now will align to center and we'll still justify to center as well. So I just remove this code out. Then I'll set border radius to 4 pixel. Sorry. Well, I'll set margin left to -4 pixel. So the reason I set on the -4 pixel is because I want close all of them together. You see, all right. So something like this. So you see, I'm saying our design ID closed. If we inspect this thing now, we'll see. For the timer box now, if I remove this margin left out here, I increase this thing. If I remove them out here now, see, I say the space too much. You get. So normally now, if I put the negative value, you go the shift onto itself. You see. All right. So done for this timer. So different ways to actually do this box, because if we not set the width or the height, we'll for still use something like maybe padding to say maybe 1 EM or I must say 0.8, 0.6, 0.3, 0.4. All right. So switch on show now. If we use padding to set time, you go see give us the stuff a bit. See say you see say the 0 now, the box will say the fatter. Why? Because normally the 0 itself the fatter than all these thin figures like the 1 where they and the 9 they take the shape of like this of the 0 because it's fatter. So if we set padding at the padding now called the like decide how the box go wide reach you get. So they'll say all this 1 are this slim now, the box not too wide like the way this other circle they. So to make sure all of them they even now, like all the box now they the same size, we're not going to use padding. If not padding of a work, and now why we use the width and the height to make sure so okay we get the same thing for every body, whether they're fat or they're thin. You get. So another one. Then more work on this divider. So I'll come the divider here. I will just set position relative. Then put right like 2 pixel. We'll see. Okay, you then enter the center well, because before, as we set this margin left, not to the centered, you get. So see, you come near this side, pass here, because they give you more space. So set position relative now to just push this divider, make it enter the center. So we'll not target and tidy this logo and the timer area. So once about CSS now, just get good eye for some of all these details so that you will know how you take tidy your stops to go. So then next we will move enter this part of the tutorial.